Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something that surprises a lot of adult piano students. You do not need hours a day to make progress at the piano. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes I see adults make is believing if I only had more time, I'd be a better pianist. Now, don't get me wrong. More practice time can certainly help. But the reality is that most adults are balancing careers, families, responsibilities, church activities, and everything else that life can just possibly throw at them. And because they can't practice for an hour or two every day, they often convince themselves that there's no point in practicing at all. And that's where they get stuck because consistency will almost always beat occasional marathon practice sessions. So let me give you an example. Imagine one pianist practices for 2 hours every Saturday. Another pianist practices for 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. At the end of the week, who do you think is likely to make more progress? It's the person who stayed connected to the piano throughout the week. Why? Because learning the piano is not just about time. It's about repetition. It's about building habits. It's about keeping the music fresh in your mind and your fingers. So 15 focused minutes can be incredibly powerful. In fact, when I work with busy adults, I often encourage them to focus on quality over quantity. Instead of asking how much time do I have, ask what is the most important thing I can work on today. Maybe it's one difficult measure. Maybe it's a scale. Maybe it's just improving a transition between two sections. Maybe it's reviewing a piece you've already learned. Small improvements add up. And here's something I want you to remember. A lot of adults underestimate what happens when they sit down for just 15 minutes. Often once they get started, they end up practicing longer. But even if they don't, they've still kept the habit alive. They've still shown up. They've still moved forward, and that matters. One of my favorite sayings is something is always better than nothing. And because the goal isn't to have a perfect practice schedule, the goal is to build momentum. The goal is to become the kind of person who practices consistently. So if you've been waiting for the practice time to practice, if you've been telling yourself, I'll start when life just slows down, I'll practice when I have an hour, I'll get serious next month, I want to encourage you to just start today. Sit down for 15 minutes, pick one thing to improve, and focus completely on that one thing. You may be surprised how much progress you can make. Remember, small actions repeated consistently create big results over time. And I'd love to hear from you. How much do you typically have available for practice time each day? Leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe because every week I share tips to help adult pianists build confidence, consistency, and progress at the piano. And I will see you in the next video.